When it comes to these three series, I honestly don't know where this originates from or where these assumptions or ideas come from, but people like to stereotype these three series for some odd reason. When it comes to Shaman King, Hunter x Hunter, and Jojo, there's a large audience or group of people that think that these three mangas and or series are alike. And as someone who's actually read all three of these series and completed them, it's just kind of dumb to hear this. Because I know damn well if you actually read any of these series, you would know that neither one of them are alike in the slightest. And it's crazy because of a lot of guys that are saying these things are quote unquote JoJo fans. They try to make it seem as if Hunter x Hunter is biting off of Jojo, or Shaman King is biting off of Jojo as well. Or if these three series are just biting off of each other in general. You know, common sense would dictate that you'd go out there and read the series before you make such dumbass claims, but you have people on the internet that are lying and saying that they've actually read or watched these series when they've actually never done so. So I have to go out the way and make a video to fucking stomp on this invalid opinion before it begins to spread. And a majority of the people out here that are anime fans will be misinformed because they took someone else's word for it rather than looking at it for themselves. Like, you literally have one fucking job. Do not form an opinion on something unless you've actually seen that thing and or experienced it. Please, that is called an uneducated opinion. We do not need any more uneducated opinions because it's uneducated. It's just fucking dumb. An outside perspective on something is good, like, hey, I've never seen Shaman King and Hunter x Hunter. I think they're a lot like Jojo. See, there's nothing wrong with that. But when you blatantly say, with an uneducated opinion, Shaman King and Hunter x Hunter are just like Jojo. What? Honestly, how? What similarities are you picking out? Because you must be really grasping at fucking straws to think that these three series are even remotely the same. Jojo is literally made to be different from every other manga because of how bizarre it is. Shaman King, if you actually read it, gives you a completely different experience that you wouldn't get from most mangas. I already explained how it was different in my Shaman King video. If you haven't already, go check that out. But you get my point. And then Hunter x Hunter. Do I even really need to say much about Hunter x Hunter? It's Hunter x Hunter, my dude. What are you honestly comparing to it? You could literally take the main characters from each of these series and put them all side by side, and none of them, not a single one, give off the same vibe. None of them. Not even in the slightest. Yo is not like Gon. Gon is not like Jotaro. Jotaro is not like Yo. None of these guys are the same whatsoever. And the same thing can be said from their respective series. A lot of people like to say that Shaman King and Hunter x Hunter are a lot like Jojo because I guess they ripped off the stands or the powers from Jojo, when again, that's not even the case at all. Oversoul's, Nen, and stand abilities are literally nothing alike. In Jojo, stands have a preset ability. They do one specific thing, and they do whatever the hell Araki feels like jotting down on the paper. I want a stand to have invisible zombies. Bam! Invisible fucking zombies. I want a stand that impregnates women and grows to be a fully grown man. Look at this crazy stand, Superfly. It's a transmission tower. Why is it a transmission tower? Who the fuck knows? But at least it fits with the plot. Stands are whatever Araki wants them to be. They each vary because they each have their own specific preset ability. And you cannot compare these abilities to Nen or Oversouls in the slightest. Because Nen and Oversouls function in a specific way outside of having some random ass ability. People just so happen to see a spirit in Shaman King and they automatically think that it's reminiscent to that of a stand because they're floating behind their shaman. But a guardian ghost functions in a completely different way than a stand. Guardian ghosts aren't like stands because they aren't based on your personality. You could get virtually any ghost from anywhere and use it. Hey, look, a random samurai floating around. A samurai ghost. Guess what? I'm gonna take that samurai ghost and then I'm gonna use an oversoul with him. And just in case you don't know what an oversoul is basically when you create virtually anything that you want. Hey, I want to go underwater. Guess what? I'll make an oversoul out of a fucking submarine. And guess what? I can drive that submarine all around the damn ocean. Literally limitless resourcefulness at your fingertips. And a stand does not do that. A stand has its own ability. Its own personal ability that no other stand has. Oh wait, let's not forget that every stand does the aura punch. Oh, random enemy stand user? Yeah, they do Jotaro's iconic aura. You know the iconic barrage of punches that your main character does? Every fucking character with a stand can do that. But you know, I guess Shaman King is ripping that off. Can a stand make virtually anything that it wants at any given moment? Fuck no. Unless Araki decided to give that stand that specific ability. I can understand why people would mistake the guardian spirits being in their spirit form to be reminiscent to that of a stand, but if you actually watch the series, the shamans do not fight like that. They fight with oversouls, things that they've made out of that spirit. They either merge their spirit with themselves so they could get the techniques that that spirit has, or they'll merge their spirit with a medium or a weapon or whatever. And stands do not do this, and neither does Nen. Spirits in Shaman King aren't stands, my dude. They are spirits, and they use them differently from stands. Maybe when they're in their human spirit form, I guess you could say, they're reminiscent to that of a stand or persona, but just because they remind you of that thing, that does not mean that they are that thing or that they are ripping off stands. And as for Hunter x Hunter, I really don't think I should have to go into detail when it comes to Nen and how it's a quote-unquote rip-off of Jojo. I will admit Prince Surdinch's ability is similar to that of Diavolo's, but it's different. It's not an erase time, it's more or less an overwriting time ability. And as for the Nen beasts, I guess they're stand-like because they're based off of their user's personality, but they're more or less just a spirit animal that follows around the person that they serve. It's not like they're stands or anything of that nature. Nen beasts have their own free will. If anything, they're just spirit Nen animals, or Nen animals, I guess you could say, because, you know, we've actually had Nen beasts in Greed Island before, and they weren't, you know, serving anybody. I guess you could say they weren't stand-like, because, you know, they're not bound to anybody. A Nen beast is literally just a creature made out of Nen, but I guess it's a stand ripoff. I will be the first to admit that when Hawkenberg's Nen beast did catch the bullet when he was about to shoot himself in the head, I did get reminded of Jotaro trying to shoot himself in the head in part 3. But that only happened because after I read the chapter, I kinda pondered about it a little bit. But regardless to how similar these things might be, the overall concept is completely different. I guess because a ghost-like being caught a bullet, it's a stand ripoff. Like, can nothing catch a bullet after a stand? Did stands invent metaphysical beings fucking catching bullets? I'd say that's a pretty unfair judgment. It's not like Shaman King and Hunter x Hunter were inspired off of Jojo like something along the lines of Persona, because Persona and Jojo have the same concepts, but Hunter x Hunter and Shaman King have completely different concepts that aren't even aligned with what Jojo is doing. There are no tarot cards. The powers are not based off of personalities. Like, it's just not the same in the slightest. I guess what I'm really just trying to say in this video is, before you speak on something, at least look at the damn series. Like, please, like, stop having an uneducated opinion, because life energy and spirit energy is not the same as a stand being a physical manifestation of one's willpower. Foryoku is life energy. Nen is life energy. They're not in the same, like, they're not the same thing as a stand, and they don't even function the same. I just hope you guys, after watching this video, came out with a better perspective on, like, I just hope you guys will stop saying everything's biting off of fucking Jojo. Just read fucking Hunter x Hunter and Shaman King, bro.